I'm Mr. Greg Davis.
I'm Christal Jordan.
And I'm Luther McKinstry.
And we're here to say something with Cheré, Black Women's Edition.
Everybody's here now. We got something to talk about. Just have a seat, yeah, we're gonna talk it out. Say something, that's what we're gonna do.
For some time now, Black women have had to carry the burden and the stereotypes of so many things when it comes to finances, dating, their preference on being divorced or being single. And apparently here in 2023, May 2023, women are still having to bear the stereotypes when it comes to being married or being single. And today I'm going to unpack the myths of Black women and being in relationships. Please welcome my guest, Bishop Greg Davis, the relationship coach. How you doing, Greg?
It's good to be here.
I'm glad to have you. You look all fancy. Look at you.
I'm glad to unpack this subject here.
I'm trying to go with God on this.
Let's go with God.
And then Christal Jordan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Our TEDx speaker, our bestseller, and our TV host.
Thank you.
Now, Christal, you do a lot with relationships and television and reality shows. So I'm excited to hear what you got to say about this.
It's definitely a hot topic, and I'm interested to hear what these men of God have to say.
Okay. And last but not least, our troublemaker, the Pastor Luther McKinstry. How are you doing, cousin?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm just trying to start a conversation. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is start a conversation.
You did that. And so let me put out my disclaimer because I forgot to put out the disclaimer here. Luther McKinstry, Pastor Luther McKinstry III, is actually my blood cousin. For the sake of this show, we are not cousins, okay? We are not family. All right, now that we've got that out the way.
We family afterward.
After, yeah.
Okay,
after. I ain't got no choice. So we're gonna jump right into this. This conversation came about when your best friend, my cousin, your colleague or whatever you want to call him, Luther McKinstry, put out a post on social media that ruffled a lot of feathers, mine particularly. The post that you put out, Luther, it said that Black women are single because they want to be paid for being in a relationship.
And I could have easily put some, or I could have put women. I purposely put Black to start the conversation because I knew that the Black woman was going to be upset and I wanted the conversation to happen. And the reason why a lot of this, whenever myself or Bishop Davis ever come up with a topic.
I was about to say.
No, let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. I'm not talking about this one. I'm not talking about this one. I don't even know if I reposted it. No, I'm not talking about this. Whenever we come up with topics in relationships are from conversations that we have had with others. Am I correct, Mr. Davis? And so this came up from conversation from other men. And I said, okay, I thought this was interesting. And so that's when I put, and I decided to put Black just to start the conversation to get people engaged. That's all.
But you understand that there's some conversations you can't start because of your position, right? Because you're a pastor and you lead a congregation, not just in your church, online and virtually. So there's some conversations that you can't start because do you understand how that statement degrades and minimizes the value of Black women?
If a person know me and know my heart, they know
the internet
I'm
don't know
talking
you.
about people who don't know me. I'm talking about the ones who do know me. If they know me and they know my heart, they know my intent. Because when there was one individual had got several calls, and this is what he said. He said, McKinstry has a reason for everything that he does. And let me call him and find out. When he said, hey man, what's going on? What's on your heart and mind? I said, clickbait. He said, oh, I already know that. And that's all I said. It was a clickbait.
So Christal, you don't know McKinstry?
I've been to his church.
Correct.
But I don't know him personally. But I understand that social media is a platform where we have to do things, unfortunately, to get the conversation going. So his poking the bear also can actually, I think, hurt and add more fire to the overall conversation than good. So I think we're at a place, especially on social media, where Black women feel very attacked. I'm sure Black men do as well. But when someone that is held in the regard of a pastor and a leader that you have a certain amount of respect for says something like that, I think it adds an additional it adds additional insult to injury.
Absolutely.
And how I look at it is, the ones who had some, if it didn't fit you, then why would it bother you?
Well, it doesn't fit me, but it
does
does
fit me.
bother me because
I'm a black woman.
No, I'm talking about the part of getting paid. If that didn't fit you, then you should not be upset.
no,
Because a lot of women even said on there, if it don't fit you, why are you making a big deal about it?
because we're leaders in the community. You are definitely a leader. Both of you all are. But I feel like even I have a platform, and I feel like I have a responsibility with that platform. You have to be very specific and careful because there are people that may not understand that you're poking the bear.
Bishop Davis is biting his tongue, and let's go ahead and get into it.
If it don't come from us, where does it come from? If the conversation don't start with us, I think that's what's wrong with the church. The church don't want to talk about two things. Everybody wants two things, money and sex. Don't want to talk about none of it. And so I talk about it all. I, fortunately, don't pastor people that I see. So that, I'm a virtual pastor. So I open it all up. Now, want to know what side I'm on? I think women get paid no matter whether they're the girlfriend, the hoe, or the wife.
I think they should get paid.
Yeah, they do. They get paid whether they're the girlfriend, the hoe, I said it, or the wife.
But why do
Whether
you
you
say that?
leave it on the table, whether you give it to them in a Birkin bag, whether you give it to them in paying the bills at home, they get paid. Point blank. So now his statement wasn't too off. Maybe it was offensive because we don't want to, he said poke the bear. We don't
Well,
want
no,
to
he
deal
said they
with it.
are single because they want to be paid for being in a relationship. That's not why women
And
are
a
single
lot
today.
a lot of men are tired of always having to dish out every time. They don't want to go anywhere but to the finest restaurant, which some of the restaurants they name, to go to, what's the steak place everybody talk about?
STK?
Huh?
Did they-
No.
You talking about Ruth Chris?
You was Chris, that's
That's
The question
like,
is, and the
that's
question
like
is,
Panera Bread
can
now.
you go by yourself and afford it?
No, and they don't even, I went on a date with a girl and she pronounced the stuff wrong. Everything on the menu.
Lobster biscuit,
lobster biscuit. Hell, you want it, excuse me, you want it. but
And she
you don't know how
said,
to
"This is
pronounce
my
it."
dream restaurant."
And then she turned around
Not
the next
the
day and
dream.
wanted,
That's
hold
what
on,
she said.
hold on, next day she wanted to know why I ate part of her sides. They're shareable, but you want all this. You want all this, but you don't know what you even talking about. You order things that you wouldn't even order on your own.
So I
what
would-
is a man that we're tired?
But why
So-
would you even take a woman like that out to dinner?
Thank you.
Well, I
should be
couldn't find
able
out
to-
who she was until I took her out.
No, you can talk to her. You can tell that she has
You can go
I
for
had
a
never
walk.
went. I had never went out to a restaurant with her. I know other things about her, but
If she pronounced it lobster biscuit, it was other things she said in that conversation that suggested that she wasn't
she
ready
just
for
didn't
that.
know cuisine. She's from a little country town. But my point is, the reason why I took her out, because dating is data. I had to eat anyway. So I may not eat with that person anymore, but I teach dating is data. So I got the data that I needed that she didn't know what the food was.
And I believe dating is data as well. And I believe the conversation costs. So when I was single, definitely I had my dates lined up every day of the week. I knew what I was eating for breakfast, dinner, and lunch, including my cousin. He was on the roster as
me
well.
too. She let me know she was using it. She let it be known. She
I'm
was
just
using it.
saying that it's only in the black community that our black men, that our men complain about being providers or taking care of the woman. And the black woman has to get scrutinized because y'all don't want to do your part. If you're dating her, she should not be broke. When it comes to me and my friends, if my friend is slobbing the knob on somebody, don't ask me to help you with nothing because you should not be broke when you busting it wide open.
I agree with all that.
So-
I tend to agree with all that.
So she
My
should
friend
be
over
getting
here,
it from
my
you.
friend over here don't believe in flying people out, fluing them out and all that stuff.
No, I sure ain't.
And so I believe in all that, but let's call it the way it is. Not all, he should have said some. Some, that's all they want is to get paid. And a lot of men are saying, you know what, I'm good. I just won't be committed.
What about the white woman? Y'all give it to her?
Well, we just happen to be black.
I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm like.
And like he said, you might as well leave it on the table. If that is the case. And you won't have to worry about the headache.
I guess I just am the odd man out, and I'm okay being that. I feel like the problem is we're approaching love and relationships like they're transactionary. So
That's what women have made it.
no, women
Yeah.
have not made
Women.
it.
Women
Men
have
made it
made it
that
that.
way because
No.
no.
It's the oldest profession in the world. They made it that way.
And that's unfortunate that men feel like that today. But the reality is men will use their money because we got to be honest. The last 2 decades, women are earning more money, right? But before that, we know that there was a huge disconnect, a huge wage gap between men and women. So men use their money I was a single mother for 10 years. I cannot tell you how many times men offered, let me pay something for you. Let me do that. They were trying to use that to manipulate, right? So when you say women started it, no, we just learned the game.
I agree
we just
with
learned
that.
the game.
Yeah, I'm agree with that too.
I agree with
my
that.
problem is that everybody is approaching love right now from a standpoint of what can you give me?
Yes.
We're talking about women, and we're talking about the fact that women, first of all, women have a need to be provided for. That is a biblical fact, right? We talk about the fact that a man was able to provide for wives, women, children, and all that. That's something that's a foundational statistic. However, men want things from women as well. It may not.
Yes.
Isn't it transactional anyway? A relationship is transactional.
I don't believe relationships should
You
be
don't believe
based in
relationships?
transaction.
No, it's not.
I don't
based
think it
on,
should be based on
but
that.
is it transactional?
It can. There are things
Yes,
in a
that's the
relationship
yes or no.
that are. No, it's not. I don't believe a relationship is based on transaction.
So if you're with somebody and they never give you anything back, you're gonna stay in that relationship? Nothing.
Of course not. But I'm saying based.
You answer my question.
No, I'm saying based. No, I'm not. That's not the same
Yeah,
thing.
it is.
You're saying that women want to be. Well, you didn't say. You were saying. Let me be clear.
I'm still giving it to you.
They're gonna put it back over here. I think that there are some women, but it's sad because they have not been shown that there are other things that men bring to a relationship outside of money. And that's what we need to be talking about.
See, but you got those men who does control and have money because they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Absolutely.
And that's what you have that. But you have women who they look and seek for that one. I never forget one woman that came to me and we went out, and her thing was, I know I'm supposed to be with a pastor because I'm gonna be a first lady because she see all the things that what a first lady supposed to get and receive. That was her dream thing. I said, well, I couldn't wait until I paid that bill from that dinner, and she would not have to worry about seeing me again.
But can I tell you something? I dated a pastor. I dated a few pastors when I was single. And the pastor said to me, can't you just see yourself being a first lady? Now, when you approach me that way,
Yeah, it works both.
I'm
both
looking at the church like, if you're trying to get me with being a first lady, then this needs to be a much bigger church, sir. You know what I mean? Because he was.
Oh my God! Don't tell me he was that storm.
He was leading. He was leading with the fact that he had this and was trying to make me attracted to him because of what his position was.
See, like I said, you have those ones who lead, but you have ones who seek. You got some women who, when I was in pharmaceutical sales, they wanted a dope man.
Of course.
You have those ones.
But what you presented to them, the package.
Who look for go to ball games and hoping that the players see them in the stand.
Absolutely.
Will have the ball boy to go up and get them after because they look for because I'm going to get this bag.
And,
I agree.
and unfortunately, we
Okay.
see more of that than we do because of social media has made that larger. You are a rarity to think the way you do. And when I say this generation, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about the way that the culture, the way they think. And unfortunately, social media shows us more the opposite of what you're saying.
Social media shows us extremes, but can we just acknowledge that yes, there are women, I know women that go to the rap concert, sit down, get access, want the rapper, want the ball player, want the pastor, but there are a lot of amazing women that those men will look over for a specific type of woman. So I think we have to look at both sides. Women, beauty and money are both currencies in different ways.
Well, they'll play with that woman, but then they'll go marry the woman.
No, these people are marrying strippers and hoes. Let's just be honest.
That's just like some women like bad boys.
Yeah.
Or a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing. But
Pastor, men have always had a penchant and a
a
fascination.
There's a minority.
I'm saying they might not have married those women, but they were always sleeping with those women. And so now the culture has changed.
But you know what though? There are a lot of times that some men had end up sleeping because there was something they wasn't getting at home. And what happened is they found comfort by laying their head on another lap.
And then what did they?
No, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying what happened.
But it's reality.
It's reality.
Okay, well then that's the same reality when the bills aren't paid. Well, if you haven't paid the bills, then she may be looking for
I wasn't
a
cheating on my wife, but when I pulled at home,
confessions.
no, I didn't cheat on her. I didn't cheat on. All that.
That's the
I didn't cheat on, but this is what I.
But what I did
I used to come home, sit outside my house, stay on the phone, waiting until she went to bed because I did not want to go inside the house and deal with it.
Why?
Because she didn't make my home a home.
Why though?
She didn't make my home.
She
a
wasn't
home.
asking to be
What was
paid.
she? Yeah, what was she doing?
No, she wanted. She was too well taken care of.
So what was it?
Because
Give us the tangible things.
if you're gonna meet with me, I'm gonna make sure you straight.
So what were the tangible-
To a
how I
certain
am.
extent. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna fly him nowhere.
No, that's
I
on the
mean,
dating process because this is how I look at it. And I look at it like this. Why am I going to, when I first meet you, I'm going to invest in something that I don't even know if I'm going to invest, if it's even worth investment in the beginning state.
Buying a ticket is
but
an
let me
investment?
finish. Because if I come and fly to you, I'm not going to ask you to pay for me. I'm going to get there.
You want to see me?
But let
you
me
should.
finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, fly.
If we just first met and you wanted to see and you wanted to come to me, come. But when you get to me, you don't have to worry about anything. That's my point. Because why I look like we together because
you
I got the
man.
representative.
Because you the man.
I guess, but
If you
what is
wanna-
it in the rule book?
If
It
you
ain't
want,
nowhere in the rule book saying the man got to pay for a plane ticket.
lead with
Yeah,
everything.
nowhere in the movie
I
they say
say,
that
you
she
wanna
pay
leave
for her
first,
own
let me
plane
finish.
ticket
If you
either.
want to
Let me finish.
lead, be the man. Don't act.
Our investment is getting on the plane in the first
Because
place.
the
hold on,
less
but-
you spend, the less they respect.
Okay, but there you go. So this is
Yeah,
why-
there you go.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know about that.
See, yeah, but hold on, but this is to my point. We was together. But you gave me your representative for these 2 months, and I found out who you really were. We went out and you lost your biscuit and got mad about shareables. But I spent about $15,000 in them 2 months sitting up here, and I realized, you know what? This ain't even it. So I invested $15,000 and I'm done. So let's say I meet the next one 2 or 3 months later, okay? And I do the same thing. I look up at the end of the year and I'm gonna spend $30,000 in something that you didn't even invest in at all.
You can do that with somebody that you've been with for
Yes.
a year. It is an investment, but
It's a
how-
risk all the time.
I'd rather,
But-
that's the risk I'm not
do
gonna
you-
take.
Let me ask you
Well,
a question.
But you're investing your money, but not your time.
But
You're
it's
not
a-
putting your
I'm a
energy
black,
into that
I'm
person.
a black Jew. I'm
But
not
is it
going to do it.
Did you learn?
Yeah, we
any-
know.
Did you learn anything from it?
Absolutely.
Okay, then.
No, because he did it the second time. It made it
I'm trying to get
$30,000.
something. So if you spent
doing too much.
15,000,
You're doing too much
I'm just
in
using that figure.
Yeah.
Did you learn what not to do the next time?
No.
No, I'm not talking about.
No,
I'm talking about- no. I know. I started.
Relationships
hold
are
on, let me tell you
lessons.
something. I learned that from back in my day, and I said to myself, I'm not doing that no more. I'm just not doing it.
But sometimes men spend money not because they're trying to impress the woman, it's because of their own ego. And there's no reason that, because I've dealt with a lot of, I work in entertainment, so I know a lot of men that have money. Sometimes it's not even necessarily, there's no reason for you to be spending $15,000 in 2 months. That's because you're trying to show her,
No,
this
I'm
is
just
who I
I'm just
am.
throwing that number out.
Okay, that number
Okay,
is
okay,
too high.
okay.
Okay, I was like,
I'm just talking about
let's
plane
talk.
tickets. I'm talking about
Okay,
plane tickets.
let's
I mean,
talk
and trips.
afterwards.
Okay, here you go. I dated in the entertainment industry. I dated, and one of them, and when they first met me, do you know what I said to them? I said, I may not could take you to Ruth Chris, I may not take you to Capitol Grill, but I sure could take you to Chick-fil-A, and I'll let you supersize. I'll let them know if you're looking for me about some money, that's not what you're gonna get. No, that's why I just laid it out online. Even though I can
you
take
can
them
do
there.
that if you
I
want
can do that if I want to.
Okay.
But I laid it online. You know what they said to me? They said, oh, yeah. I said, we can go straight on the drive-through, go inside Chick-fil-A if you want to. Okay, we can roll now.
That's a
Okay.
ridiculous test.
Yes.
That's a test. And I
So,
think
but
that's a
then
test.
it also sends out the signal, and from what I hear, my cousin is known for, you like women with money. And that post pretty much said it,
like women-
confirmed it.
No,
would you?
that's not. It has nothing to do with
That's
money.
true.
That's
I want,
true.
I want,
She's
no,
telling the truth.
people to carry
No,
it.
no.
Hold
They
on.
both said
Because the
Hold
first,
on.
because the first thing that
No.
you ask me if I'm dating somebody, what do they do?
What do they do?
because
Oh,
this is why.
no.
What she
Hold on,
got?
hold
do they do?
on, man. Hold on. No, wait a minute.
You gonna be taking
No,
care of her?
hold on. Wait a minute.
And you call him a sucker
Wait a
too.
minute. You
Yeah,
can't say
a
that
sucker.
about me. No.
Simp.
No.
Simp.
Hold on. I
That's
call
what
him
it
a
is.
simp,
Simp,
because that's what he is.
You called him a
No,
simp?
Yeah.
very much so. Because
Yeah,
he
I'm a
he
You
he
admit
he
it?
He gonna put it
Come
out.
pull
I'm a
out your
simp.
eye. Yo,
No,
bud.
I'm a
Yo,
simp.
hold
If
on.
he's talking about, hold on, no. If you call me a name, then let me defend it. If you're calling me a simp because I do for a
Well,
woman.
you said I just agreed.
No, if I do for a woman, then I am. Because I think a man is the leader and you should do.
That's fine.
I'd rather be titled a simp than a loser.
Okay, that's fine. But okay, so you call it whatever you want. However you want to see your perception. No, it has nothing to do with it. I want to know, because what I've dealt with before in the past, are you able to carry your own weight? You can carry on. I'm not asking you for nothing.
But can't you find that
No.
out?
No. And then when I said that, it was a joke.
You don't even have to ask for it though, because you set the tone in the beginning.
When I said that statement, I said a joke because you know I'm a jokester. I said it as a joke, and we all sit up and laugh.
Right.
So, but to my point, I want to make sure that you're gonna be able to carry your own weight, because I don't want you to be looking at me because you want a financial gain. So if you can carry your own weight, then that's
But
good.
when I sought out for a husband,
I don't got a time
before my husband
I don't have
came,
time for.
I'm seeking for somebody
That's
who
fine.
can
I don't have
financially.
time. You are fine, because you know what? Because the women in our family are taught. So you can't say that.
You're not a cousin.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Well, I hear the women in your family. No, but this is true. But the thing is, to my point is, even concerning that, because I don't have time for a Build-A-Bear. In my age, I don't need a Build-A-Bear.
Is that equivalent to a project?
You call them whatever you want. I said a Build-A-Bear.
Okay.
I don't have time for a Build-A-Bear.
So,
in
but
my
can't you
age. Now,
determine that she can take care of herself in the beginning, meeting her?
If I was in my 20s,
You could tell
If I
that.
was in my
You could
20s,
tell
then
that.
we can build together. But right now, I'm not.
You want her
at
to
that.
come to the table
So
with
respect
hers.
women that feel the same way.
I'm gonna come to the table with mine. You come
So,
to the table.
yeah, listen to
I had a
what-
member.
listen to what
Hold
you
on, let
just
me say.
said.
I had
Yeah.
a member of mine. I had a member of the church came to me and said, "Pastor, since I joined this church, my business has been thriving, things going on." He said, "Now all I need me is wife." I said, "Yeah." He said, "No, but this is my thing is, I don't want 50-50. I'm going to come 100, and I want her to come with 100.
Absolutely.
And that's what he said.
It should
He
be.
said, "I want her to bring whatever to the table." I said, "Well, why don't you consider this so-and-so in the church?" You know, and I told him, and I understood where he was coming from. He did not have time for the 50-50
Did you
or him
hear
building
what she
somebody.
just said?
This is my question to you. First of all, you said earlier that you were providing everything your wife wasn't making at home. I feel like we get caught up in the money issue, but we're not realizing, because I can tell you, Cheré and I work in a business where a lot of women are do very well. But that doesn't always make a good wife. Like, I'm learning, I just got married, and I'm learning that me being a great businesswoman does not necessarily mean I'll be a great wife. So I'm learning to have to do things.
Did you have an example at home?
I did not have an example at home.
She had an example at home.
Okay, but that's
For her
but
mother.
you.
But it's
we're
still
wrong, though.
varies.
I'm learning. So
Sometimes I'm
we can't use that
70%
as
a
all.
good
She
wife,
had an
and
example at
sometimes
home.
I'm-
I have a wonderful example
What
at
I'm
home
saying
with
is
mine.
that it's not just about money. What a woman brings to the table. When the guy said to you, I'm bringing 100%, I want her to bring 100%. Maybe most men that I know that are very well off don't want a woman to bring 100. They don't need a woman.
They
to have
don't
a
want
money.
it.
They don't
Exactly.
care about that.
That's
they want a woman.
that's what you guys want. That's what you
Well,
want. Everybody know. You know what you want when you married your husband. You know what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what you want when you want it in a woman.
I want him
you
to
know
take
what
care
you
of
want
me.
in a man. So you cannot down a person or look at person differently and saying they're wrong because how they want theirs.
I think
because,
as a man,
But you just did that.
But let
You
me
just
say
did
this.
that with your
But let-
post,
but let me
saying
say
that women
No,
want-
I
you just
said
did that
you
with
got
your
to
post.
start with
listening
conversations.
to what you
off.
say, and she was about to say it, but you cut off. What you said on that post, based upon the way that you think and your philosophy and your ideals, is very hypocritical for you to say that about a woman, and then you want what you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing that you just said.
Oh,
That-
yes,
no,
that's
hold
fine.
on, hold on. It's the same
That's,
thing.
no,
no.
But I
it's
know
okay to be
I
hypocrite.
said
Let me
it
finish.
because
No,
I
hold
said
on,
that
let me
because I
finish.
wanted to start
Let me
something on
finish.
social
No,
media.
hold
That's
on,
why.
He abandoned his post.
the way,
but you should have deleted it anyways. The minute that you ruffled feathers, you ruffled my feathers, you ruffled a feather.
Well, you gotta
feathers
see it
in
with
yours.
Cheré.
She sent it to me.
They got to
yours
say with
was a
Cheré, so he didn't need to do that. We don't with you.
He
Now we got a whole nother
Right, that's my whole
It bothered
purpose.
somebody,
what I do,
your
what I
church
do,
member. It
I
bothered- he called me.
I called you and said, "Come on, let's go talk about it on your show."
Because I'm very
Exactly.
upset because it's very derogatory when it comes to
I
black
think
women.
I think you needed to.
I think so.
I do too.
I think this platform gives you a chance to explain, because my thing is, if people are mad at you, church members and all that, you do have a responsibility to the congregation to just say, "This is what I meant."
Yeah.
Sometimes, it could be lost.
But I said it, and she even told her.
Your
It was a
camera's over
clickbait.
there.
I just
Your
wanted
camera's right
I
there.
wanted
Over
to
there.
start a conversation, and look what I did. I started the
Can you
conversation.
apologize to the black women that you offended? They're still looking.
Yeah.
Apologize to black women.
I don't know.
No, I didn't come at
Don't
black
coach him now.
No,
You
No, I didn't say that.
come
That's
at-
not what I
No,
said.
I wasn't coming at black
No,
women
that ain't what I said. I
because
said you
when
need to explain.
If I said some women, or if I said women, now I got to apologize to
But,
everyone. No, I was just.
I only care about black
Can you
women.
add some women, some black women?
No, not some black women. There are some women, whether Latino
Right.
or white. It's
Asian,
all.
white.
I just did that because I knew the response I was going to get from black women.
But you got to
and
be
on
careful with those blanket statements. You got to say some women, because I agree with him, Cheré. There are some women, that's all they want.
And there are some men that all they want is to get in our pants.
Well, I
We
think,
all know that.
well, so this is how I live. This is how I live. Men want to get in your pants, and women want the money from getting in the pants.
Absolutely.
Some.
Right.
So since you're going to give the pants, you might as well go and give me my money.
So
That and now
So
we are
this
back in
lead-
prostitution.
So here you go.
Right, now I'm back-
He said
Well,
himself,
but-
you might as well leave it on the
Well,
table.
but that's
both
the way
sides.
some women make
You might as well leave it on the table.
Yeah,
What bill you need to
Do
get
you
paid
agree
this
with that?
month?
I agree.
Here you go.
Do y'all agree with that?
Pay your bill for
I
this
I was
month.
pimping at
Some
one
women-
point. I get that.
You was what?
I was pimping.
You
I
pimping them out?
was
Patrick,
Yes.
Pimp Daddy.
I was pimping for about 2 years.
But if men are approaching and suggesting that that's all they bring to the table, then why are they
That's
upset
my
with
So
what
how
they
you
get?
get mad at me when you said it yourself? You was pimping.
I was pimping, but wasn't why I'm single. You're saying that's why black women are single. That
Most
is
time
not.
that's
No,
what
he
it's
said it
are-
himself.
Most of
we
the
are
time,
men are
single.
tired of it.
Most of the
He
time,
said
women
men
are
are tired of it.
pimping.
Only broke
Most of the
men are
time-
tired of it.
Most of the time, women are pimping
Only
because
broke
they
men.
are single, and men are tricking because you allow them to.
Yeah, they do it. We allow.
But the
Only
only
we
And
allow.
y'all took what we've done and took it to a whole nother level.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Y'all took a
always
whole
do.
nother
Y'all
level.
women
It don't take
multiply and
long.
amplify everything. So
Everything.
we're gonna do
Oh
that. But
no, but look, that's nothing to be proud of. That they
Yes,
took it
it
to another.
is.
Yes, it
no,
is.
No, that they took it to another level. You know why it's not to be proud? Because we did it to them.
Absolutely.
yes, you're right. I agree with you.
Men did.
Y'all taught us.
That doggone
They
Steve
hurt
Harvey
us.
think like a.
Men hurt women and women responded, and now it's out of control.
It's
But
out
the
of
point
control.
It is.
It is.
If men are leading with their money, then you cannot be mad when you get a gold digger. And if women are leading with their bodies, then
Yes,
they cannot be
you
mad
can
when you
mad.
get a man who only wants you for sex. Just fair exchange is not robbery.
So what about the men that who don't need with their money?
There's not very many.
It's
of
not.
them.
Let's say it's
Unless
not
they're
very
broke.
many.
They finished last.
Unless they're
They don't
broke.
have any.
They finished last.
The broke men are the only ones that have problems with
They
this.
finished last.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
So
broke-
what
the broke
is
men
the
that do-
financial role in a relationship? Not even
No,
married,
no.
relationship.
Okay,
that's different.
I'm just different, but I'm just talking about marriage because I know what I seen. In
Before
my
you
house.
get married, though,
Well,
you have
I know what I
to
seen. My
date.
father said, "Son, you be son," and I take. My mother did not have to pay one bill when I was
like
growing
his
up.
dad.
My mother not one bill, even though when she didn't even have to work, but when she did, when she was teaching at a school, that was her money. When she was on the road preaching, that was her money. He never was a hindrance or anything. That's what I seen. They've been together 53 years. It'd be 54 this year. Married. That's what I seen. So that's why I said I have no excuse for being the right husband, for being the right father, because I had it in my home and I saw it in my home. My mother is a woman of power, but she also knew how to switch roles when she came home. She let you be known, I'm pastor at church, but I'm wife at home. And you know that.
Right,
and so I seen that. Right. So I had an example. That's why I was saying that my ex-wife, she seen that even with her mother. So she had no, and then her mother was even talking to her like, girl, you've been taught better than that.
Yeah.
Well, there might have, that part we need her side of the story too, because I'm sure there were some shortcomings on your end. You might not have been
When them doors was
daddy
closed.
long stroking it. I don't. I'm sure there was some issues that she had. So we just need both sides there.
Did you say it?
I mean, he said we would talk about
Am I-
everything.
am
We're
I-
talking about money and sex.
Money and sex. Money
part
and
of
sex. There
Yeah,
are
them
other
doors was closed.
reasons.
Them
The
doors was closed.
yes.
My
so
grandparents were
you'd
married
find out.
67 years. 2 Scorpios. Doors was closed a lot. But I'm sure that I came home a lot of days and my grandfather was sitting in the car. And I said, why are you sitting in the car? Because mom in there, she was 4'7" and he's 6'7". She in there,
Raise a hand.
emotional. Yeah, and so he sat and listened to the radio station. It's not always perfect.
Yeah.
No.
I think the difference in now and then, and your parents and my grandparents, they were committed to the commitment. Nobody's committed in this generation.
Absolutely.
And I'm not just
So that's
talking-
why the
and
divorce
I'm not
rates
just
are high
I'm talking
right
about
now.
all of us.
And
I'm
they
talking
don't last
about-
long.
I'm talking about all
Men
of
and
our
women.
ages.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no commitment. They were committed no matter what. if they have to sleep like Lucy and Ricky in separate beds, they wasn't going anywhere. Now it's too easy because social media gives you so many options. Yeah.
And we don't value
unrealistic.
And this is how you know when they have some issues and problems. When they start posting their thirst trap pictures on social media, because they won't post
or they quotes get real deep. And I be one saying, "Oh, what happened in the relationship? Tell it all, because you started us all. Don't leave us hanging.
We've been in this relationship.
We in it together.
So let us know why we broke up.
Why I don't see no pictures of him no more? Where the pictures at? Yeah, no, I totally get it.
People had an understanding of the benefits of relationship, and I think we don't have that now. I think we just want to make pretty pictures, but pretty pictures don't speak to when the camera's off, when the filter's off. You don't have anything there. So at the first sign of something not being perfect, we're in a very narcissistic, selfish culture. If it doesn't fit me, I'm out. Yeah. And no relationship works that way.
But that's because we're not building on the foundation of the relationship, because if we spent time building on the foundation, we wouldn't get to that point and easily be out. Because what are the benefits of being married? What are the benefits of being in a relationship?
I don't think people think past the wedding ceremony. I think they're so much into the wedding ceremony that they never think after they say I do, after the honeymoon, the pictures and all that, now we got to live. They're more into the ceremony than they are into.
So there are too many people who want to get married and not be married.
Absolutely.
So they just want to get married.
And it's not easy.
It's
not easy. It's not easy at all.
So that conversation came up because there was a group of men that were talking about their experiences what's been happening with women. And some of them say, man, I'm just tired. I'm cool being by myself right now. A couple of them says, I don't see myself getting married. And so that what made me want to start the conversation. And I knew I would have got more engagement by ruffling some feathers. So it wasn't people who know my heart. Because, first of all, I was raised around women. When my grandmother passed away, my aunts was in the house. I know a heartbeat of a woman. I've been raised around women preachers. I'm fond of women preachers. I love women preachers because I've been raised around all that. So if a person really know me and know my heart, that was not
ladies
my
and gentlemen,
relationship.
that's what you call, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's called backpedaling. You just saw it right here.
Live.
Say something.
I just wanted to start something, and I started it, and I wasn't engaged with what people were saying. I just wanted to hear what they had to say.
But I'm interested to hear what do men think is the benefit of a relationship? Like, what do you all think?
Benefit?
As leaders, understanding that your opinion
as single
matters.
leaders,
right? What would be the benefit of you?
I want somebody to share everything with. I want somebody to be able to build with. I come with mine, you come with yours, and let's bring them together and see what we can build together.
So it has to be economic. It has to be
No. Just everything in general on the umbrella. Okay, go ahead.
You gonna help them out?
Yeah. If you go back to the original intent, since we are pastors, I'm gonna go, and I don't usually go this way, but it is said it is not good for man to be alone. The first thing is companionship. It is not. That's why we get into so much trouble when we are alone. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So I just think the first thing is companionship. And then he told them to subdue, go in the garden, work the garden, and then come down in the cool of the day and worship. Be fruitful. And be fruitful. Be fruitful. So I think to answer your question,
yes,
it's companionship.
I love that.
We should not be. We shouldn't be alone. That's the first thing, and that's the thing that he was talking about.
I didn't want to go biblical, but
no.
biblical.
But I think even non-pastors, if a man is not even a born again believer, I think the reason why he seeks out a wife, the real reason is companionship. He's alone. He's lonely. He don't want to do all this stuff by himself. I think we're better together. I think even though we are successfully single, there's so much that a woman, I'm opening up a podcast studio now. It's all women that's doing it. Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's the only way it's going to get done.
Women, the girl that's over it right now. And I just thought of it this morning on my way here because I was talking to one of them. I'm like, this is dope. I got all African-American women.
And you don't let everybody in your space.
And I don't let everybody in my space, but it's women that I can trust and that can say to me in a mild-mannered way, I really don't like that, Bishop. What do you think about this? Not, I don't think you should do that. So we need companionship. We need somebody to multiply. Now, here's women, and I'm done when I say this. I hear women say that a lot, all right? That just give it to a woman and she'll multiply. She will, but there are some, Cheré, that also know how to deplete you too.
Absolutely.
If you let the wrong dog in the stall,
Absolutely.
then they gonna tear it up. So you got to make sure that the person knows how, and that they've already multiplied for themselves. You can't multiply something for
I
me
agree.
if you never multiply. So that's the new buzzword. Get a woman, because she'll multiply. She'll also tear it up.
She'll tear it up.
How many women you know that tore men's churches
I've seen plenty
and
of
businesses?
That's what makes me scared half the
Well,
time.
she ain't tear it up for no reason.
I
Now
promise
there
you
had to be
it's good.
some
Not
smoke.
always.
Where there's fire,
Cheré,
there's smoke.
Cheré, a lot
Where
of
there's
time-
smoke, there's some
no,
fire.
a lot of time-
Now she didn't tore it up for a reason.
No, not in every case.
I
Some
don't know.
women-
No, I got one that his wife didn't start acting up until his church blew up and he was the biggest church in the city.
Yeah, that's not
And
true.
out of nowhere, and then she started cheating on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He never cheated on him. He was a square. He'd never been out nowhere.
No, that would be
He
the
was- he
reason.
was- he was-
Yeah, well, there's some smoke, there's some fire.
I digress.
Thank you. Because that's the first thing I said. Well, see, that's part of the reason, right there.
Yeah, that's it right
Yeah.
there.
I think there are both sides. I think that women have a special gift.
I agree.
That a woman's mouth and her energy is able to build a man or
tear
him down. And I think as you get mature as a woman, you understand that power. It's kind of like when my son was little, he would bring me a flower and I would say, "Thank you," and his chest would puff right up. Same way when your husband brings something that's like, "Baby, see, I cut the yard." And they look to us for that. God took us from them and placed us in their life for that. But in the same token, a woman tearing a man down and making him feel less than can deplete his self-esteem to where he is, it's painful to see. And I think women have to understand that power. In the same token though, there's a power that men have as well, because a woman, a good woman, I'm only talking about that. We know that there are both sides of the road have issues on
both
them.
ends, yeah.
But a man that does not appreciate, value, cherish his woman can also tear her down. So I think we have to understand it both of us need that companionship, and I think, especially with our community, because we're just speaking to the Black community, we don't realize each other's value. There are so many single women that we've been feeling like that, we've been on our own. You know how you say men are just now saying that women have been saying, you know what, if it's gonna be hurt, if he's gonna use me, I'm good being alone. But the reality is,
or they go to another race.
And that doesn't work as well. I mean, there are some.
Because they
Yeah,
feel
sometimes it does,
feel like if I go to another race, it's gonna be better.
It's gonna be better,
He's
yeah.
gonna treat me better.
They do think that, but the
Well-
reality is, a lot of times, you know what's so funny about that? I remember asking a friend of mine that only dated out of his race why he did that. And he said, well, because I don't have the same static with them. They're very agreeable. They haven't been through the same trauma. And I said, you know what's interesting? When I dated outside of my race, I didn't have static either. So just the things that we have to heal within ourselves.
already
The
go
answer
through
is
so
not to
much.
look outside. And I'm not saying that there's love. You can't find love. If you find love outside of your race, good for you. But the answer is not for all of us to look outside. The answer is to heal the issues that we have and to
Within our own
within our
selves,
community.
yeah.
Can we go back to a word that you said though? Is value. But value is put on before you get with anybody.
Yeah.
Facts.
Louis Vuitton is one of my favorite designers. They don't discount.
No.
You don't see an outlet.
Or a sale.
You don't see a sale.
A commercial.
I actually asked a salesman one time years ago, what do they do with them? They burn them up. So my point is, women and men, especially women, need to know that your value is put on before anybody comes along. They just add value to you. I'm not looking for somebody. A lot of women look for a man, because that's who I talk to a lot, women, because I'm a man from a man's perspective. But you got to know your value. And a lot of women don't know their value. It's put on. It's not put on by Luther. It's not put on by Greg or any of these brothers. Pat didn't give you value. He added to it.
Right.
But
And if you look up the word value, it means purchasing power. So
come on,
when you
preacher.
have value,
I done
You
opened up the
definitely got
preacher.
that.
I love it.
Y'all heard that?
Huh? What?
They heard it, because I heard it.
Brought it all back around
You
to
gonna
It
preach
sure
that tomorrow
did.
on Club? You gonna preach that
Value.
tomorrow on Clubhouse?
So you know your value.
Open it up.
Don't step up in here.
power.
Yeah.
Purchasing power.
Purchasing
That's
power.
if you look up
That
the
you
word
already
value.
have.
You already
You
have.
already have.
So we did come back to there being a value that is connected to if
He's
a
a
man.
good guy. Don't beat him up.
No, I'm just, I like what he has to say, but I'm like,
He was prepared for this today.
I'm prepared for it.
He
He
done
was
prayed. He
prepared
done
for
prayed.
I would
You
tell guys
cousins
on
again.
that If you don't think I'm worth taking to a restaurant of my choice, then don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I'm good, sir.
But I'm already gonna know that in the first conversation. I'm already gonna know if you're even gonna get that dinner date before we even get there. And I know men know the same thing. It's a risk.
They get caught up in the looks a lot of times.
But they still can tell from when she opens her mouth if it's going to go past that
Delilah,
bridge.
What did you say about looks?
I think that men get distracted with looks and they're not able to see through. Like, I feel like
That's who we are, though.
I don't think so,
It is.
though.
No, that's who
I think
we are.
y'all ain't dumb. Y'all ain't know when a person
in the
opens their
beginning,
mouth.
men fail what they seen and women fail by what they heard.
facts.
That's it. That's
Not
the
me.
bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
That's my-
In
you
the
got to show
garden,
me.
women
I
feel what they
don't
heard.
feel what I hear.
Yeah,
Men
that's
feel
what
what
they
they
us.
see.
But
No.
Men and women are totally
No.
different.
Most men go from what they see first. Most women, they don't care how you look.
Oh, no, I
in,
care.
in many cases.
Well, I
no,
care.
in many,
If you talking good,
I know what
bad.
you mean, overall.
Yes,
If you talking
overall.
good,
Overall.
I
yeah.
never understood that concept.
Because
I
you
never
was raised
understood
with
that
us.
women just believe
Here you go.
anything that comes
'Cause
out
you was
these
raised
men's
with
mouths.
us.
That makes no sense.
But let him look halfway decent and can talk your panties off. You can do
It
it.
ain't never happened. I ain't never.
Maybe not with you.
Just
but
don't.
because
You-
you was
you
raised
come from
with
this.
us.
It's
I
just-
do think
I
that's
just never
true.
understood that about
It
women.
is.
Like,
But why is that? Because you was raised with the male in our family with what you see.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
That's a
I
family
see. I
thing.
guess I've
Speaking to
seen too much. Yeah, I've seen too much. But I think I done been in
Oh,
domestic relationship. I done had my ass beat by. I done been in domestic violence. I done been dumb.
But I do know one man who would talk you out of it.
My husband can talk me out of
You
anything.
see
He
what I'm
over there.
saying?
He over there. He over
But
there.
my husband is fine though. My
He over
husband
there.
is
He over there doing
fine.
this right now. Talking.
Now my husband is fine. Okay, everything, the looks and the sound, everything about him. Yeah, my husband got it going on.
But I
Sorry.
think I never
Yeah.
looked at the biblical. I never looked at the biblical sense, and I've said that and didn't even have that reference. So I'm adding that, and I'm gonna give you credit the first couple of times.
Okay.
Because Eve heard, he saw.
Yeah.
And that's what most men do. They oh, she's fine, especially if it's the type and what you like. The women.
Jacob worked for 7 years for beauty.
For
Like,
beauty?
Oh,
Yeah,
come on,
absolutely.
come on, see?
You a preacher too?
See?
You
What?
pastor?
You know, I know a
That's
little.
Let me find out you know your Bible.
I'm taking that too.
You right.
I wanted to share it. I just wanted
Prove
to
your
share it.
point then, Christal.
Nah.
Prove your point.
I'm just
That's
saying,
powerful.
there's so many examples in the Bible of he saw, and it was enough to make him. He worked 14 years
Listen,
because
he was
and he
determined.
had never been with her before, but he saw her. And again, when we were talking about men get distracted, Delilah and Samson.
Yeah, I was gonna say about Samson.
that is
like, yeah.
ridiculous.
But you know, but Samson, but he still never slept with Delilah.
It was-
he was put in that position because of betrayal and,
But
and
how
because
in
of
the,
her.
I don't believe any woman would have, if a man
He was
tells
placed in
me
that lap
something-
because of that betrayal. And
But he
I
still
understand,
saw
but
beauty
it was
problems.
the beauty.
Yeah,
It was-
in order to get in that lap.
How would she have possibly
had
got
to.
to the point where
Yeah.
she could say the Philistines are upon you, and he would, oh no, and then she tricked him several times. He kept
was
falling
this.
for it. It was that.
Yeah, you got to interject.
And
that.
women
It
aren't
was
like that. I think we like beautiful things, but we're not. There's
No.
not a distraction like
That's
that.
why you see. That's why you see beautiful women with average-looking men, and you be like,
How did he
Where-
get
how-
her?
where you get
But we
her?
know how he got her because I think women are. I did my college thesis on attraction. Men are attracted to beauty because round hips, beautiful hair, beautiful skin. It suggests that they're able to bear children. God put this in all of us. Women are attracted to broad shoulders because he can protect and
Good hair,
provide.
too. Don't forget good hair. Because you want a baby with some good hair, don't you?
Nowadays we stuck in bars.
And light brown eyes. Don't forget light brown eyes.
It's all designed. It's all designed for us to be fruitful, right? That was so. So a lot of the things that we're attracted to are not because we're superficial. It really is it's divine order. Because Eve was placed in the garden with Adam, but Adam had already, there was something for her to go to. You can't get upset and say a woman is a gold digger because she wants security. That's a part of, if you see an animal, when they get ready to have a baby, they're trying to make sure that everything is okay. They're trying to make sure that the nest is fine, and that's where their mind is. So I think certain things are just innate to who we are as women and men. But men need to see something that pulls them in, and women need to feel secure and safe.
so if what she just said is true, Brother Prophet Luther, the first woman that came here with a man that was able to, with a bag.
Yeah.
Sure
Amen.
did,
Yeah.
sure enough.
That was the first thing that was presented, was a man that had a bag.
Had it all.
And
Had
was
it
working.
all.
And was
And
had,
was
had,
It
a
had
purpose.
job.
Had a purpose.
The driving purpose.
Yeah, but she didn't come with nothing.
There you go. See that?
She
Do
only,
you want to say something?
she only came with companionship.
Companionship.
and probably beauty.
And
I'm
beauty.
assuming beauty.
I'm sure she was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, sure she was beautiful.
Because he
I'm
looked at her
just
and
letting
he
you know I'm gonna give you
immediately-
credit.
He looked at her
Yeah, I like
immediately.
that. It's going to go into my
Break it
relationship
down. Put it in
conversation.
there.
No, it's true. She didn't bring anything. That's why I hear men say, "What table do you bring?"
What he's doing, he's just working on his sermon for tomorrow.
Oh, you preaching
That's what he's
now?
doing.
No. These are videos. I'm gonna do them when I get in the car. Cause I be the forgotten. I'm gonna preempt this show. They gonna have it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna wait and hold it. I just wait for these clips.
Help the people. You got the clips covered.
That
Help
was
the
good.
people.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The way you broke that down.
Yeah.
You agree?
Absolutely. I agree. I get it.
We
Okay,
totally
so then how
dismantled
do-
your tweet. We
We just totally
dismantled
threw that
your
out.
tweet.
I wanted
The post is
I wanted
coming
you
down.
to.
I got
You
you.
could
I
just
just
ask
can't
her
run
for
it.
a show without
Instead
hurting
of
people.
doing it.
Instead of hurting people, just say I want another show.
Next time,
Okay.
just call Cheré.
So then how do we, since you guys just broke that down about relationships and attraction, so then how do we help our community with navigating in relationships? Because if a woman keeps hearing, the Black woman keeps hearing all these stereotypes about her, how do we help her to navigate inside of a relationship with single men?
I think we're doing it now. I think it's platforms like hers, Profits, yours.
Well, not so much the clickbait.
Well, at least
No,
you
no,
got
no,
a-
because but
He
you
called
know I do
conversation.
other
Calm down,
relationships,
she messed
my
with you.
red flags and all that. Yeah,
I-
You got to go back to the red flag.
I
Go
think
back.
I think you do it. You're not consistent with it, right? So I think platforms like this that we all do, all of our platforms, the people that follow us, this is good. This is by far one of the best podcasts that I've been on, the dialogue. But I think this is it, because you have to diffuse all of the foolishness. And no offense to what you did, but there's a lot of clickbait just to get likes and views and get paid. Social media pays, great. TikTok, YouTube. But some of it, it's the freedom of speech thing. You got to let people say it. But some of it is shaping the minds of others to think that if the only way that I can get noticed, I got to say something crazy. I gotta take my clothes off. I got to take my shirt off. So I think diffusing with platforms like this helps.
because reality show
And it's not enough.
reality show really put that also in people's mind, because in reality shows, it doesn't last unless there's drama.
Yeah.
And so, that goes for the rating. And so people are so stuck on reality show and really think that's what life is all about and should be.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And so the essence of Say Something is a storytelling platform. We all get to where we are from telling our stories, sharing our stories. We've been through something. So I'm going to ask each of you briefly to think about what got you to this place where you are when it comes to relationships. What did you go through? What hurt, or good or bad? What mistake did you make? What got you to where you are today, to where you can share such sound knowledge to the audience?
Mine's through my trials and errors.
Trials and errors.
Trials and errors.
With marriage, divorces.
Relationship and through marriage. The both times I was married, and I always tell people the first time was my fault, second time wasn't. But I learned. I never forget that my wife said something one time. She says, "You did not hear my cry. I've been crying out, and you didn't hear my cry." So now I listen closely. Now I listen more. Then I didn't listen. So I listen more. So because I had the only child syndrome.
Yes.
I'll take all my toys, go home, play myself. And then, I'll crawl in my little shell. And you know how I am. I crawl in my little shell and get in my remote control TV.
In the dark.
But, in the dark. I had no problem with it.
That's another show.
Through my trials and through my errors. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I like the lesson learned from there. Christal?
I was married early on, and then was divorced and was single for about 10 years. And I would say during that time of being single, I dated, but I probably was the most successful. I was probably more successful than I thought I would have been. I always looked at being with a man. So I was more successful single, and it caused me the hurt from going through a divorce. And then my success was kind of like a default, because a lot of times when women get hurt, we put all our energy into work. We put all our energy into being successful and achieving. And I was very imbalanced. And where people thought I should have been the most happy, I was actually the most sad inside, right? So I was doing really well, but I was so imbalanced because I was surrounded by other women that were successful, but there was this idea of, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't want it, I'm fine, I don't care if I have a man or not. Really, that was a defense for a very hurt, broken little girl inside that had used her success as a way to cover up feeling very insecure and very inadequate. And I went through an experience where I learned, number one, what I was putting out was doing the very opposite. It was driving men away. And I had no idea that was what it was. But they were thinking, a lot of times men will say, oh, she's this, that. But really, I was just hurt and trying to cover up and not let you take advantage of me. And so it was creating an environment that wasn't open, it wasn't receptive, it wasn't soft, it was hard, but it was because of fear. And so I think that going through that process and being taught by a woman that I respected, an older woman that I respected, that I was wrong, helped me immensely. And that's why I'm committed to doing a platform, because I can't speak to men about what they should be doing.
Right.
I can only speak to other women, and I can tell women, especially career-driven women. I don't really understand women that are just looking for men. I don't have no problem with them, but that's not who I relate to. I relate to the very career-driven woman who has failed at relationships and has put her energy into creating a life that she feels like is fine, but she's really hurting and imbalanced. And I think there's so many of us out there that are like that need love and are buying into this myth that we don't. And so going through that and realizing I was wrong and changing has been the biggest thing for me. And it resulted in a beautiful relationship that I never would have thought I would have been able to find.
Wow.
So I think we're called to what we've been hurt in. 12 years ago, I tweeted after a divorce, moved back to Detroit, tweeted after divorce. There was no Instagram or anything. And I said, you have to become the right one in order to get the right one. And I just kept tweeting, and I was really tweeting from my hurt and my experiences. And people start loving it, and I tried to stop, and I started telling my story. The difference in probably them, and I've heard what they said, listen very attentively, is that I'm still on the journey. I don't think you really get off the journey. And my audience is a little different from yours. I talk to women mainly from a man's perspective, but I let them know through transparency, I'm very transparent, that I'm taking them on a journey. So I'm taking people on a journey of what I've been through and what I'm going through, and even my failures now. And that comes from transparency. I think a lot of people sometimes mess up when they don't tell the truth about what they're going through, and then they come back later and then people find out that, and then that's when they call you a fake. No, I'm telling you exactly what I'm going through in transparency. So I'm called to heal, and the funny part of it is to live with some people that were married 67 years, and then you can't fully get it right.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So I'm on the journey, still on the journey, sharing through transparency as a man to women. And it just so happened the brothers can't stand me. This one over here, right here, is one of the main ones. Man, why you keep man, would you stop that? Why are you telling them everything? The women, they follow me, and I'm just sharing my journey from my hurt. I messed up in marriage, was a successful pastor, helped build an organization, a marriage, children, and got home after 20 years, 19 years. We had nothing to talk about but that. So that was my fault, because I was the man.
Because you was the lead.
I was the lead. I allowed it. No matter what she did, it was still my fault, because I'm the man. I could have brought us back into order, into balance. The sad part about it is, both of us enjoyed it.
And they did a show together.
Yeah, we did two shows.
They did a show, and people loved it, and they was transparent, put everything out.
Yeah, we don't hate each other. We love each other. We just came to the realization we wasn't together for romance. We wasn't together for love. We was climbing the ladder, and she was just as ambitious as I was, And we both got that.
And I'm still just as close to her too.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. It's funny you say that because I always say that there's healing in transparency.
Absolutely.
The minute we can be transparent, we'll heal ourselves and the people around us. But I thank you all so much for being here on the set today. I really value all of your opinions. That's why I had you, and it's so credible. And I pray that someone really gets delivered from what you guys spoke today. Look into the camera and tell someone who may need to be uplifted when it comes to dating or being married. Give them some encouragement, man or woman.
I think when it comes to dating, take your time, number one. Have no expectations when you first start dating. First start dating. Take your time, have no expectations. Just go enjoy yourself and see what happens. Stop going there thinking, this is my future husband, this is my baby daddy, this is all that. Go there and just enjoy the lobster biscuit.
That is a deep one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I would say, and I think, I would say I speak mostly to women, but I think this goes for men as well. I always say never give up on the power of love. There's so many of us that have, if you go through something, you go through hurt, you become jaded and you're thinking, marriage is a business. I'm not looking for love the next time, I'm looking for a business. I think whenever you approach something from that perspective, you're never gonna get the best of what God has for you. I think that we have to change the way we speak. So instead of saying, I know it's not that, I know I'm not gonna find anybody, it's I hate dating, change your words. As women, our words are powerful. And so I challenge you to start speaking life into your love relationship with yourself, first of all, and start telling yourself that you are worthy of love. You are going to have an amazing love story. And I promise you, when you start to speak those words, you're going to start to walk those things and you're going to draw love to you. So never give up on love. Never allow fear or what you've been through in your past to dictate the future that God has set for you.
Love that.
Well, as the words of Bishop Davis, he always says, gather data. And let me tell you why you should gather all the most data that you can, so that way you will know if you're yoked with that person. Now here's Pastor Luther McKinstry talking. When God created man, and when he made man, and then when he went and made woman, he used the man's rib. In order for him to make Eve with that rib, that means she had Adam's DNA. She had his makeup. They was yoked together. You have to find that one that has your DNA, that you're made up with. And like when she has said about speaking life, it's very interesting. And don't say life and death. I will understand that, life first and death. No, it says death and life is in the power of the tongue. You got to kill something first in order for it to bring it to life. And you have the power in your own hand to change it. You don't have to go to God, because death and life, they use that word power as dunamis, but that's not it. That word power means a Hebrew word of yad in a man's hand. So death and life is in the power of your hand. You have it in your hand to be able to change it, to kill something first and then bring it to life.
Yeah.
And we're cousins again, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until the next time, we have said something.